Yo guys, welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. In this video, we're going to go over more detail into the two exotics coming into Season 19. But before you watch this video, go and watch the video I just made on all the huge news, all the huge leaks for Season 19. I just made it like an hour or two ago as of the published date for this video. I'm going to put a card up. Go watch that as well, because that will give you insight into the plot, the exotics, more even bigger detail, and what big things we're going to get for the season. So be sure to go watch that as well. And be sure to subscribe and click the link down below for a Lightfall giveaway if you're interested in that this month. Because, of course, it's the month of Christmas. So, yeah, why not? Why not join the giveaway? But other than that, let's get right into the nitty-gritty. So, like I said in the previous video, I did say that there's going to be two exotics, of course, that you already probably knew that come within season. Similar to how this season we got the Delicate Tomb, and then, of course, we got Touch of Malice, and like the last season before that, we, of course, got Heart Shadow and the seasonal exotic for Season 17. So we usually are getting two exotics per seasons, and with the last season before Lightfall, that is only 3 months long, you're probably wondering, okay, what will the Season Pass exotic be, and what will the dungeon exotic be? Because there will be a new dungeon returning next season. Hopefully it is on Europa, but time will tell, and we are going to get that on December 9th, which is basically less than a week from today, which will be really interesting. So you're probably curious on what that exotic will be. So we got some news on what the dungeon exotic will be, but before we get into that, I really wanted to go into what the Season Pass exotic is going to be before we get into the dungeon exotic. So Josh Hunt, who leaks some stuff, of course, he's an awesome guy. So I went on to his Twitter, and he sent out a post actually recently, fairly recently, only like 2 days ago, curiously, which is, again, crazy how time flies. He sent out a video on what, of course, the web page on the, you know how seasons have like the page on the Bungie.net website. Of course, when it has the page, they usually go over, you know, what the season is about in the first, and then the season past the event. And of course, we're going to get Dawning and Moments of Triumph next week as well. I think Dawning maybe a week after, but we're getting a lot of stuff. And of course, it goes into the calendar if they do one, and like all the other little things. They have a tab for the season pass. And Josh Hunt fairly said that there will be a SMG PG link in there. So he's saying that next season the exotic might be an SMG in terms of the season, for the season pass, which I find actually very interesting, as it was just confirmed that Seraph rounds and the Warmind weapons will return next season. Of course, with the Deepstone Crypt weapons becoming craftable next season, so a lot of that Rasputin Warmind type theme is happening a lot next season. Of course, and being that the plot will focus around a lot with, of course, Ana Bray, Rasputin, of course, the Traveler might being infected, and Xizor Wrath. So there's a lot of plot lines coming into play. So the SMG would probably be one of the cool things that they could do here, because they could bring back something like near to a Kilos, as there's a Warmind theme, and then make it a cool exotic. So this will be very interesting. So, being that we are going to get a SMG, looks like, for the season pass, and it's very interesting on what way they would go here. I don't really know what type of weapon it will be in terms of its perks, but it was confirmed earlier on in the season that we're getting a kinetic exotic and a solar exotic. So this would similarly be an exotic in the kinetic slot, an SMG in the kinetic slot. So be very interesting on how that will play out, and hopefully it's really good as well. There will be a ornament and a catalyst as well in the season. Moreover, let's talk about the dungeon exotic. Now the dungeon exotic will be a solar exotic bow. Now, Destiny 2 Leaks did say that it could be a dungeon exotic earned from a quest, but now it's leaning towards that the quest will be fake. Just yesterday, she put it out. So I wouldn't expect, in my best guess, that it will be a quest. It will be similar to the model of how the Duality dungeon had the Heart Shadow be a random drop, and then, of course, the Catalyst would also come out after you got the weapon. And, of course, you can maybe do the Triumphs to get a better chance of getting that exotic. So when the Dungeon Seal comes out on Tuesday or Friday or whenever it comes out, fairly look at the rewards from the Triumphs, because they will probably give you a higher chance of getting the weapon, because like how the Heart Shadow did it, is that it would give you extra chances if you did those Triumphs, collect all the cosmetics, did challenges. So it's really cool there to at least have those extra chances build up if you play the dungeon a lot more. So think of that as more of a model. But a solar exotic bow is what we're looking at for next season in terms of the dungeon exotic. which is awesome. Of course, the last solar exotic bow we had was actually the Tico's Divination bow from Season 13, which was Season of the Chosen. It's actually not a bad bow. It's actually fairly good in GMs. Of course, its exotic perk was that hip firing the weapon fires multiple targeting projectiles. Targets marked by these projectiles explode upon death. Now, the Sacred Flame explosion was also really interesting, and I love that as well. So expect something very similar to this. I wouldn't say exactly similar, but I want to know what they're going to do for it. It might be a heavy exotic bow, which will be really cool, and that would compete with how you say Leviathan's Breath, or how you ever say it. I can't say it right. Screw my grammar. But similar to that, how we had a Void exotic bow that season, back in Season of the Undying. Wow, Season 8. This will be a solar exotic bow. It could be a special weapon, but I really don't want it to be in the special slot. If it's in the heavy slot, it will have a cool design to it. But again, time will tell on how they plan that out. It's very interesting on why they're bringing a solar exotic bow, on my thoughts process on it, because we've already had one. So going back to the bow, we're not getting an arc one like Trinity Gold, probably because Trinity is so good. And I don't know why they're not doing a Void exotic bow, which would have been really cool. But again, overall, having a bow, who knows how good it will go, and hopefully it's really good in PvE activities as well as PvP activities. But again, time will tell. I don't expect a Secret Exotics to play out next season, because next season will actually be it will be shorter compared to this season. It will only be 3 months long, being December, January, and then end of February we get Lightfall. So it will be a short season, and hopefully they could do something secret. But remember, recently they did say that they're not going to really necessarily do the Whisper type missions, because of course it's harder to do that with hiding everything from the leakers and all that type of stuff. In that interview that they told, I think it was actually a post or something that they told, not an interview, but a post. So I understand why, but again, it's good to have at least 2 exotics. And hopefully that other exotic, if they were going to plan another one, would go to Lightfall. I expect, again, like I said in that other video, that a lot of the time is going to go towards to Lightfall, the development, I would say, and this season will still be good, but I wouldn't say amazing. Again, I loved Arrivals. I thought that was great. Lost wasn't bad. I hope that whatever plant comes out is good and has a good activity with it. I hope it's not as anything bad. This season, I'm gonna admit, was dry, and I didn't even play a lot. I just hope the next season does deliver on a final good tone for this year, because I know this year has been a bit rough in terms of the seasons, with Risen, with Haunted, the dryness. So hopefully next season can deliver on being a good season. But yeah, guys, that's really all I got. Again, SMG and a solar exotic bow, I think that's amazing. Time will tell on what they will do for it. But again, it's really awesome to finally see them, of course, going a bit, in a cool direction of how they're bringing in another exotic bow in here and an SMG. Time will tell on what they're going to do. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.